The Miami Heat and Denver Nuggets series is getting very interesting as the Miami Heat won the last game on Sunday night. They ended up stopping the Nuggets just short on their home court, giving them their first loss at home for the entirety of the postseason. Gabe Vincent had an amazing game, and a lot of the guys on the Miami Heat did things very well, while a lot of the guys in the Denver Nuggets didn't do things very well. We're going to be just talking about game 3 and how pivotal it is in today's video, guys. But before we do, I do just want to say sorry for the lack of uploads. I have a surgery this week on Wednesday, and I've just been kind of giving a little bit of attention to that. I don't know how frequent the uploads are going to be in the next week or so, but after that, everything is going to be fine. I will be uploading regularly again. I'm sure you guys have noticed I've been posting a lot of polls dipping into the idea of possibly starting a No Money Spent series for my team or a rebuild and/or simulation series for my GM. Nothing of that nature will change me posting content in this aspect, like how we're doing right now, where we're just talking hoops and you guys are sharing your opinion. I just wanted to be 100% clear with that going forward. It's just going to be extra and more content, especially when the off season comes and there's going to be lack of ideas to talk about. I just figured some of you guys who play 2K or enjoy that kind of content will tune into it. You can tune into it, you cannot tune into it. Either way, if you're watching this video, I appreciate your support. Now let's talk about how Miami can keep the momentum going forward. I feel like the zone that Miami is running is just very intricate. On Steve Kerr and Draymond Green's podcast, which by the way was super awesome. If you guys haven't seen it, I would check it out on the Volumes YouTube channel. I think Steve Kerr made a really good point of it seems like it's so unorthodox, the type of zone they run. It seems like they almost made it up and tailored fit for the Denver Nuggets. It's not your typical 1-3-1. It's not a 3-2. It's very different and it's very interesting. And I think they do a good job of quote unquote making Jokic a scorer. Now, I do think that that's kind of a poor point for a lot of like media people to be harping on. Yes, making him a scorer and taking away his passing ability is definitely what you want to try to do. But at the end of the day, if you actually watch that game, there was a lot of decent shots that Nikola Jokic was able to distribute for his teammates that the Denver Nuggets just didn't capitalize. And Nikola himself touched on that in some of the post-game interviews. Obviously, when Nikola Jokic is passing the ball and distributing the ball, that's when this Denver Nuggets team is at its best. So I don't like when people are saying, oh, Nikola Jokic had 4 assists. Is that why they lost? No, they didn't. They lost because they were playing poor defense and they couldn't hit shots. Which leads me to my next point of what type of bounce back do we see from the Nuggets cast outside of Jokic, and how does Coach Malone enforce the defensive principles that they've carried into the other series that we've seen against the Suns, the Lakers, and even dating back to the Timberwolves. I thought it was just a very, very sloppy game too. It felt like in game 1 they got ahead of themselves. They had a 20-point lead at some point. Game 2 they come in the second quarter, the bench unit led by Christian Braun, they have a crazy little run there. They go up by I think 12 or 15 points, and then next thing you know, it's a 3-point game at halftime and we're doubling for no reason. KCP is fouling 3-point shooters. I just think it was a very poor performance from the supporting cast outside of Nikola Jokic. And Nikola Jokic isn't innocent either. He had a couple of very timely turnovers down the stretch, and one thing I don't really like him doing is trying to just gamble. You'll hear the announcers on the call say that he gambles for the pass to try to dip into the passing lane, or he'll come too much up, and Bam Adebayo is a more than willing passer just like Jokic. So we're seeing a lot of people, Jokic included, falling asleep on back cuts, where the Miami Heat are getting a lot of great looks under the basket. The Miami Heat bench, Duncan Robinson and specifically, had an amazing third and fourth quarter in this game. I think Duncan rattled off 10 straight points in that fourth quarter to start the fourth quarter, and the Miami Heat started 9 for 10 from the fourth quarter, and I think they shot 68% in that fourth quarter, and it's just really hard to beat a team when they score 36 points in a quarter, have all the momentum, and you're not playing the best defense. And the Nuggets, they forgot how to play basketball for like the first 5 minutes of the fourth quarter. And then in the final minutes, they remembered it and they were making big shot after big shot. It was just a very intricate game too, which is why going forward in game 3, it's going to be even more interesting because I think this is a big tipping point of the series. The Denver Nuggets this playoffs have not been down once. They've obviously lost games, but they have not been down once. They won in 5 in the first round. They won in 6 in the second round, and it was tied 2-2. And then they swept the Los Angeles Lakers. If they go down 2-1 going back to Miami for game 4, they could be in serious trouble, especially when they have the solid mentality led by Eric Spoelstra as the head coach. The Miami Heat know this isn't a game. They know this is the NBA Finals, where some of the people on the Denver Nuggets kind of were treating this last game as if it wasn't even a playoff game. It was a regular season game. I'm really excited going forward to see the adjustments from Coach Malone and his staff, trying to just make sure that the bad habits that they had on defense don't persist going into this next game 3. And I'm also really interested to see if Tyler Hero makes that return. We're hearing a lot about a game 3 return, and with how many days apart we have in the NBA Finals, it may give the Miami Heat and Eric Spoelstra himself and his coaching staff the chance to kind of, mess around and tinker with certain lineups, because we don't really know what kind of Tyler Hero we'd get. You can obviously see in the DHO and the high pick and roll, which the Miami Heat love to run, we really saw that they could use someone who's comfortable creating their own shot and dribbling the ball. When it's, just Max Strus running off of a screen and trying to get a DHO from Bam, he's ending up shooting these three-pointers from 32 feet, sometimes even more. They're just very, very deep, and Tyler Hero just does a really great job of piercing the defense and just kind of getting to his spots. That's something Gabe Vincent and Caleb Martin have stepped up big time and done a lot in this series, and I got to give my flowers to the Miami Heat and just the entire supporting cast. What they've been doing all playoffs is sensational. I said this in my finals prediction video that no one had them against the Bucks. They beat the Bucks. A couple people had them against the Knicks, but majority of people were betting on the Knicks. They beat the Knicks. And then nobody picked them against the Celtics, and then they beat the Celtics in 7 at Boston's home in TD Garden. It's just been an electric playoffs, and for all the people who say that this was going to be the most boring finals of all time, I'm sorry to say, but you just don't know ball. If you made it this far, I appreciate your support as always. I hope you guys have a great rest of your day and stay happy, healthy, and blessed. Peace.